It's cone season, and it's getting worse. On Friday, the city of Montreal announced that the Pitfield Bridges in Pierrefonds-Roxboro have been closed until further notice after cracks were found on the structures. The bridges link Gouin and Henri Bourassa boulevards and border Highway 13 in the West Island. So apparently, according to the city, that's going to cause mobility issues. So we're going to talk to our all-time expert in mobility issues, Rick Leckner, CJAD 800 Wall of Fame traffic reporter. Rick, always a privilege to have a few minutes with you.
Likewise.
Thank
and
you.
I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
But first of all, there shouldn't be mobility. It should be immobility in Montreal.
Immobility.
It doesn't work. So
mobility would be news.
Mobility would be, yeah, but I guess we got to stay positive because otherwise we're going to...
Well, there's a rate
Never
cut.
survive.
There's a rate cut, Rick. Let's
cut.
celebrate the rate cut. Maybe it'll speed up construction companies, work.
Hopefully.
Who knows?
Hopefully.
But okay, what's going on with these Pitfield Bridges?
Well, the good news is that they found, the good news is that they're monitoring these. Apparently they do so on an annual basis. I just find it strange that they're both affected.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just, there must be some excessive vibrations coming from all that truck traffic on Route 13. But all our roads are overused. Again, I point out the fact that we don't have the Beltway in Montreal to the north, and that's why we have all this extra truck traffic. So in the hopefully short term, because the city has not come back to say how long these closures will be, and as you mentioned, David, it's parallel to Route 13 between Bois and Henri Bourassa, and the issue is there aren't very many alternates in the area.
Right.
Actually, there are no real alternates in the area. It's rather circuitous. The closest one is to go along Gouin Boulevard West to Sunnybrook and then rejoin the Trans-Canada via St. Regis. And that's probably, I've looked at this a couple of times during the day. I'm looking at it right now. It's not bad now, but during rush hour, it's just not the place you want to be, but there is no choice. So there are a couple of other options if you know the streets around Roxboro and Dollard. They exist, but again, it's circuitous, and this again is just more of the same, and that's the problem. But compared to everything else, this is minor league.
Okay, well, I have to ask. So obviously, Grand Prix week. Downtown, especially around Peel, is a mess because of the work on St. Catherine, but that's not the only thing. Yesterday, I spoke with Ile-Bizarre, Sainte-Geneviève Borough Mayor Doug Hurley about the bridge to Ile-Bizarre and the President's Cup coming up, that big golf tournament that's coming up in September, where you're going to have 30,000 people a day going through that little bridge that's under reconstruction for an island that has 18,000 residents. So there's one thing. Those are just the highlights. I know they're, but what I want to get to, Rick, with you, is that last year we had a mobility summit. Everybody
I was going to say, don't make me laugh.
There you go. Remember, everybody said, we're going to work together. We're going to coordinate. We're going to put more resources. L'Escouade Mobilité of the city of Montreal went from 17 employees to a whopping 19 following this summit. So I'm just asking you, when you look at basically our highest season in terms of tourism dollars, the marquee event, like it or not, is the Grand Prix in terms of economic impact, where the world is going to come to us this week. It's going to come to us in September for the President's Cup golf tournament. There's going to be tennis in August. Is there anything that stands out for you that says, you know what, we could have done this maybe a bit differently?
There are a lot of things, David, we could do differently, and that'll lead to my question to you shortly. But,
all right.
The Plante administration, we know where she stands. We know where her executive committee stands. I mean, just take a look at what they're going to do with license or permit, the permis de conduire, with
the registration tax.
Registration, thank you. And there's no, I keep saying the same thing, and I know I sound like a broken record, and I know I sound negative, but there's no freaking plan here. Okay? It's just, there's no vision. you got to just had a meeting with a couple of people, and the first thing anybody says to me is, "What about this traffic?" And I say, "Yeah, what about this traffic?" You talk about downtown, so you go from one corner to a next, and it points you to a detour, and half the time that detour is also closed. There's no advanced warning. It's just not done well. It hasn't been done well in quite some time. Transport Quebec does it a bit better in terms of advanced warning, but the coordination clearly is lacking, and I wish that some of our elected officials would spend more time on the road and see what's going on and experience this firsthand. But, there are some things that can be done, just simple things like synchronizing traffic lights.
Right.
In many areas.
Oh, my goodness.
There's some horrible intersections. CTV was asking me, what are your worst intersections? So we'll talk about that.
I have one.
So, which one?
Sherbrooke and University.
Oh, yeah.
Sherbrooke and Robert Bourassa. It's the most ridiculous intersection, I feel.
Because there aren't enough lanes.
There are no lanes, so everybody's waiting to turn, and and you get to go straight, you have 4 seconds.
Well, the worst one, in my opinion, is, and the opinion of many, I believe, is Jean Talon and DeCarry.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because you got cars coming off the northbound DeCarry Expressway trying to cut across 4 lanes to turn right onto Jean Talon at the same time. There are people trying to get on at Paris.
Yeah.
That was designed. The geometry of that is terrible. And yet there are things that can be done, like synchronizing traffic lights. And nobody listens. That's the thing. Nobody listens. I'd be willing to sit down with anyone, anywhere, and make some suggestions, but there's no one to talk to, and that's the frustrating thing.
Incompetence and resistance. Yes, your question, sir. Go ahead.
You, as a former cabinet minister, have a lot of contacts, still have power. Who do we talk to from Quebec? Is it Fitzgibbon to try and really take the bull by the horns and do something? I mean, Cavendish is a perfect example of where we're not going. So it's just like you hit a dead wall more often than not.
It's definitely political, and the key players on this and the pressure, and I don't understand even the opposition leaders, the media, it's Fitzgibbon and Girard. Right. Because both of them, even though they're not M&As on the island of Montreal, these two people, regardless of what they're doing right now and their portfolios and the politics of it, they are part of Quebec Inc. They are part of the Montreal economic infrastructure. In my opinion, those are the two players where all the pressure has to go to get the money, get the funds, and get, as you said, it's about planning. But I think we just have, all the competent people like you, Rick, and engineers and people. No, I'm not blowing smoke. I'm really saying all the real competent people, the expertise is in the private sector. And because of a bunch of reasons better than me, we don't have competent people managing this, and the politicos don't understand. Geneviève Guilbeault knows nothing about transport, and Valérie Plante knows nothing about transport. She knows about bicycle. No, that's it. There's no interest because there's no political gain here. So I think it's Fitzgibbon and Girard.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, because over the last little while, month or so, I've been asked to help out the mayors of TMR, Saint-Laurent, and Côte-Saint-Luc, and we had a press conference a couple of weeks ago, and they've reached out to both the two gentlemen you just mentioned, because they need to meet with. I don't need to meet with them. They need to meet.
Yeah,
with them.
But if I can interrupt on this, because I'm running out of time. But Rick, it's good that they meet. But those mayors, when you say, for example, you say Saint Laurent and Mount Royal, well, there are economic development zones. There's big industry in that borough and in TMR, right? There's huge business. And it's not only the mayors that have to sit down with Fitzgibbon and Girard, it's those CEOs.
Okay. As you said, you're running out of business, but I'll tell you that we formed a business alliance.
There you go.
With some of the biggest names in that area, including Royal Mount.
That's what you need to do.
But they don't want to ruffle too many feathers at Montreal City Hall. And I understand that. So it's a double-edged sword.
It is. It's always delicate, for sure. It's a dance, but you gotta dance it. All
right.
And at some point, you have to have also emissaries and surrogates. But it has to be a full court press, and it's not just the politicos. It has to be the business community that has to stand up.
Since it's taken forever and may take forever more to build Cavendish, maybe we'll just wait until you're reelected, become a cabinet minister again, and then we'll set up a meeting and get things done.
All right. I'll put it in the agenda right away. All right. Thank you so much, Rick.
Always a pleasure.
Honor to speak with you. The guy that really knows his stuff, Rick Leckner, Wall of Fame, CJAD 800 traffic reporter.